Hi, Anya.
Hi.
Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to see you too.
How's it
Thank-
going?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been going well, I think. Or
Yeah,
kind of.
kind of.
All things considered.
hmm
Have you been forced to quarantine a lot?
Oh yeah, I pretty much just been inside in my room most of the days.
But you're an artist, so that kind of works well. I-
Yeah. All the
I-
days kind of blend together.
yeah, for real. Like I have a dog, so like having a dog helps me get outside.
Oh yeah, definitely. I sadly don't have any pets. I've been wanting one, but
Yeah.
I've got a cat. Easy, very easy.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I want a cat so bad, but my family doesn't really like pets.
No.
No, sadly not.
No.
So I can't get one yet.
Yeah. Well, when you're off on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um so anyways, thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry about the time zone mix up.
Oh yeah, no problem.
It's just kind of one of those things. It's like you don't really think about like, oh wait, you're in the US, but you're in a different part of the US.
Yeah.
So thanks for being flexible with us. Uh, so Nicole, I know you've been in contact with Anya, and we reached out to you because we obviously we think that you're very talented. And coming from a different background, we'd love to just get to know you, get to know like your culture, your day to day, like what you do, and also then how the political climate has been kind of impacting you the last couple months. 'Cause that's been
Yeah.
um, so we have a team of 5. Tonight we have 3 members from our team. So my name is Amanda. I live in Rochester, New York, and I'm a web designer by day, and by night I do illustration. I just take on like freelance clients, and I'm just always trying to get involved in a project like this. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
We've already met through email, but my sister and I, we're actually twins. We do this, I don't know. We take turns, obviously, with the other members in the group. This is Jill's first interview. So I'm a sign language interpreter when I'm not doing this, but I'll let Jill tell a little bit about herself too.
Cool. So nice to meet you, Anya. I'm Jillian. I'm based in Brooklyn. I tend to be an activist 24/7 if I can, as much as I can. But I'm currently working for a human rights organization right now based in New York. And I focus on more so like gender justice and refugee rights issues. But I'm helping with the social media with Fueling the Movement right now. I'm excited to have just joined the team and excited to have you as my first interview.
Yeah.
And I know I also speak for the rest of the team when we loved your sheep video.
Oh, thank you.
So we usually get together and have a meeting when we get an interviewee, and we try to like curate some questions that feel a little bit more personalized to like whoever we're interviewing. So we obviously went, we found you online. We went through all your portfolio and everything. Loved everything on your Instagram, and then we found your animated videos, and we watched a couple. So just
I'm
yeah.
glad you enjoyed that sheep video though.
Yeah. There was was there a sushi one or
It was
the ramen one.
Yeah, the ramen.
yes, just loved it. It was awesome. So just to go over how the interview works, between the 3 of us, we'll be rotating back and forth, asking you questions. While you're speaking, we're gonna mute ourselves. So like we'll just be making expressions and you won't hear us, but please, I don't want you to feel like you have to fluff up an answer if you don't have enough to say on it. But just like say what you feel, say what like just be as descriptive as you can with your experiences. And yeah, so are you good to go?
I think so.
Okay. So Nicole is going to start off with our first question, and then we're going to start rotating. So yeah, here we go.
All right, Anya, first question. How has the current political climate been affecting your emotional well-being?
Whew. I think especially recently, like with all the stuff that happened on like Wednesday, that's been like I was like doom scrolling all day that day, and it was so hard to work. And like just being able to have like conversations with my friends and just having company, I think that was really helpful. It has been really hard, I think, because it's so hard to like get yourself down by like looking at what's happening. Yeah.
So were you hoping that 2021 was going to be like a fresh start, and then you saw that and you're like, oh wait, what?
I mean, I still have hope for the rest of the year. Um, I think that this is just how it begins. Like it's still transferring over from 2020 with like the change of power as well. And I think, well, I'm hopeful. I'm a hopeful person. So I think the rest of the year hopefully will be like better.
Yeah, definitely. We're all hoping for that because this week has just been emotionally draining.
Yeah.
Well, this past year. So leading into our next question. So being an Asian slash biracial woman, have you ever experienced discrimination? And if so, how has it affected your day-to-day life?
Mm. I think I have been very lucky in not experiencing discrimination very much. I grew up in Cupertino, which is, I guess, to me, like seems like a very Asian centered community, and so our culture was very like accepted and welcomed, and we were able to express ourselves in that way, and it was always very nice. But I don't think I've actually experienced it very much, which I'm very glad.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Sorry. Depending like where you grew up, for sure. I think that's something that's, for instance, being from like the West Coast or East Coast or Midwest, there's so many different things. Like just from living from like Ohio to New York now, I've definitely had different experiences. In terms of like your background, are there like specific cultural traditions that influenced your upbringing or your art now?
um I would say like my family is a kind of, it's a mixed family, but I guess majority I is very Asian centric, and we usually celebrate the major holidays or like Chinese traditions such as like Lunar New Year, and like for my birthday, my mom would always make noodles for like longevity and such, and it's like little things like taking your shoes off when you enter the house. Like I kind of hold on to those like little traditions and little quirks, I feel. It's I want to, or I like to put that in my art, or like I maybe almost accidentally do it because it's just so normal for me.
Was there ever anything you had to explain to a friend that maybe wasn't used to that?
Um I think usually most of the case I think with my friends is that like we say something like, oh yeah, like I always take off my shoes when I enter the house, and they'd be like, you do that too? And they're like, yeah, of course, like isn't it weird to not take your shoes off? Your house is gonna get dirty. And like it's usually mostly like us agreeing with each other and like seeing what things are similar and like what we are different in, but then like also like liking that from each other.
Yeah, and you mentioned celebrating like the big holidays, mentioning the Lunar New Year. Is there like one major holiday that you celebrate that you're like, that's my favorite, like I can't wait for it?
Like for it's weirdly like I guess like Christmas time period for me. It's like we have a mix, like I guess what's it called? With the dishes. It's not very much, it's like a mix of American and Asian. We have like noodles or like what's it called? I guess just more like Asian dishes. Like we would have fried rice or noodles as well as like having a turkey, and it's just fun having the big mix of everything.